You got the raise. So here's the uncomfortable question. If your income just increased, why does your financial stress feel almost the same? You worked harder, negotiated better, maybe earned a promotion, and your salary went up. Yet a few months later your bank balance doesn't feel dramatically stronger and you still hesitate before certain purchases. Imagine someone like Daniel, a 29-year-old professional living in Chicago, Manchester, or Munich, earning $60,000 a year and taking home about $3,700 a month after tax, managing rent at $1,500, a car payment of $350, insurance and fuel at $200, student loans over $300, credit cards, groceries, subscriptions, leaving just a few hundred in breathing room. Then Daniel gets a raise to $75,000, bringing his take-home to roughly $4,500 a month, an extra $800 that should change everything. But gradually, without drama, his rent increases because he moves to a slightly better place, his car payment goes up with an upgrade, dining out becomes more frequent, groceries improve in quality, subscriptions quietly multiply, and within months his new monthly expenses rise to match his new income, leaving him with almost the same leftover amount as before. Nothing irresponsible happened, nothing reckless occurred, and yet the raise disappeared. The hidden mistake isn't overspending, it's unconscious expansion, because most people treat raises as lifestyle upgrades instead of long-term leverage. The financial system quietly supports this pattern. Banks approve larger loans, landlords price apartments relative to income, dealerships frame affordability around monthly payments, so income growth naturally converts into larger fixed commitments. But fixed costs are powerful because they follow you for years, and when recurring expenses increase, flexibility decreases. That extra $800 per month, if invested consistently at a modest 7% return, could grow to roughly $140,000 in 10 years, over $400,000 in 20, and potentially close to $1 million in 30, simply through time and compounding, no extreme discipline required, just direction. Yet most people never see that version of the math because upgrades feel small and reasonable in isolation. Psychologically, this happens because of hedonic adaptation, the human tendency to normalize improvements quickly. What once felt luxurious soon feels appropriate, what once felt like progress becomes baseline, and instead of comparing yourself to your past, you compare yourself to peers at your new income level, who are also upgrading. The raise doesn't increase financial security as much as it increases social alignment. And social alignment feels safe. Modern economies depend on this cycle. Consumption scales with income, expectations scale with social circles, and no one forces the expansion, but it becomes the default. Over years, raises come and go, yet financial independence stays distant because expenses grew proportionally, making work feel less optional rather than more. The danger isn't poverty, it's dependency, the condition where a high income is required to sustain a tightly calibrated lifestyle. Now imagine a different response to a raise, where lifestyle improves modestly but major fixed costs remain stable, where perhaps half the raise is automatically invested and the other half is used intentionally for quality of life upgrades, creating margin instead of matching expenses directly to earnings. Over time, investment accounts grow, unexpected expenses feel manageable, career risks become less frightening, and income becomes powerful rather than mandatory. Financially intelligent people don't see raises as permission to spend. They see them as multipliers of future options. They ask quietly whether their commitments would suffocate them if income paused for several months, and instead of matching lifestyle precisely to income, they maintain space between the two. That space is wealth. The goal isn't deprivation or extreme frugality, it's awareness, because raises are rare while lifestyle creep is automatic, and compounding rewards patience more than impulse. Money still feels tight after a raise not because you failed but because increased income does not automatically create space. Space must be protected deliberately. When income rises and stress remains unchanged, it is often because fixed obligations expanded alongside it, quietly converting future freedom into present comfort. The next time your income increases, resist the urge to immediately upgrade everything, allow the raise to sit, observe the psychological pull toward normalization, and decide consciously how much of that increase should improve today and how much should strengthen tomorrow. If this perspective made you think differently about your own raise and your own finances, you can subscribe or like, calmly and intentionally, and I'll see you in the next one.